Hey everybody, Casey here with Life Abstract Gaming, and this week I want to talk about the long-awaited return of Marvel's flagship character to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Spider-Man: Homecoming.
What's up, guys? So, to become an Avenger, are there like trials or an interview?
Do me a favor. Can't you just be a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man? Just stay close to the ground.
You're the Spider-Man from YouTube.
It's been a long road to get here for Spidey. As many of you know, because of his popularity, his film rights had long been sold off to Sony Pictures, who were responsible for the original Sam Raimi-directed Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3 starring Tobey Maguire. Then, the rebooted Mark Webb-directed Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2 starring Andrew Garfield. His latest reboot is a result of an agreement to share the rights with Disney for the sole purpose of bringing the character back into the now wildly popular Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's being directed by Jon Watts and stars Tom Holland as the youngest Peter Parker we've had thus far. Similarly, Marvel's X-Men characters, including Deadpool, currently belong to Fox, along with the Fantastic Four, which is why you got two different versions of Quicksilver in X-Men and Avengers 2. At this point, I'm going to go into specific detail about the plot and the events of Spider-Man: Homecoming, so if you haven't seen the movie yet and care, you can consider this your spoiler warning. First off, I want to give props to the clever subtitle of this movie, Homecoming, because it has a double meaning, and I just love properties that do that. It's pretty overtly referring to the character coming back into the control of Marvel Studios, but also ties into the actual plot, as Peter's high school homecoming is looming in the background of all the other story threads, and it inadvertently brings with it the climax of the movie. I also need to give accolades to Tom Holland's portrayal of Peter Parker because he managed to completely nail what I always thought of the character. He's incredibly smart in his own right without the need of any powers, he's clever, and he's constantly struggling and failing to balance his social life with his duties as a superhero. As Spider-Man, he's funny, skilled, but also new at this, so you see him making dumb mistakes, especially when dealing with the Tony Stark developed suit he's rocking. No other characters left much of an impression on me besides Michelle, aka MJ, who was hilarious but a complete background character for the most part, which would have made the revelation that she was the future love interest Mary Jane Watson genuinely surprising had early casting confirmations of Zendaya having the part not come out. Michael Keaton did fine as the villain Vulture. He was somewhat sympathetic and intimidating, but other than the legitimately shocking reveal that he was the father of Peter's crush Liz, his arc was pretty by the numbers. Tony Stark's inclusion to the plot can only be a good thing with the way Robert Downey Jr. effortlessly plays the charismatic jerk, but oh man is he a jerk in this movie. As we saw in Captain America: Civil War, Spider-Man was brought in by Stark to help them in that famous airport scene, but afterwards, we're sort of given the impression that he doesn't have much use for him after that, which leaves Peter with the high-tech suit but nothing really substantial to do with it. Once the alien weaponry being sold on the streets by Vulture's crew pops up, Peter immediately informs Stark, who more or less tells him to forget about it and continue doing menial, low-level crime fighting. Of course, that leads to Peter trying to prove himself as being far more capable, and in the process he accidentally screws up an FBI sting to catch the weapons dealers. Stark then comes and scolds Peter for this mistake, telling him, "Who do you think called the FBI?" But why in the world would he not just let Peter know that? If anything should have blown up in his face as a mistake, it should have been him having his friend Ned carry around the alien artifact that detonated in an elevator and almost killed his classmates. It just seems kind of weird how he was praised by the news and Stark for being a hero in a situation he technically caused, but was demoted and shamed for interfering in a bust that he should have had prior knowledge of. I'm sure the FBI would have needed him as backup once Vulture got his suit on, but instead, Tony blames Spider-Man. Aside from that, this film was great. It had a ton of that unique Spider-Man type action and thrills. My favorite scene would probably be the same FBI bust on the ferry where he's frantically trying to keep the ship from splitting in half. It's actually extremely similar to that one demo from the Spider-Man video game shown at E3 last month. So similar, I'm inclined to believe that Insomniac probably got to screen this movie some time ago. But in short, I don't think it's controversial of me to say that this is probably the best Spider-Man movie made to date. So, what are your thoughts on Spider-Man: Homecoming? Do you think the success of bringing Spider-Man into the MCU could lead to similar deals for the X-Men or Fantastic Four? Let us know. We're listening.